everybody, no, I'm not going up there. No. Morgan, go. Hey, wait. Let's have one rule. Let's have one rule, okay? You just had three of the most.
Hello.
Okay, wait. This we're going to have a different set of rules, right? Please be quiet for a moment. And I want to tell you something. The moment that this starts becoming chaotic, like animalistic, we're gone. So you want to know what's happening? Act civilized, act kind, act tolerant, because this is the problem with what's happening in the region. So I beg you, do you think this is fun for us? Do you think this is economically beneficial for Morgan and I to be here putting up with this insanity? In cadence, with your kindness, your interest, and your thoughtful questions, we'll give you responses. If that's not how you'd like to operate, we're gone. Okay? Is that acceptable to everybody? Now, what are we doing? I can't even have 2 minutes. So, Morgan, you all know. Our goal is to match Beauty and the Beast, and you know which side of that I have. So, Morgan is coming back as a valued hand in very difficult puzzle salvation of what we have. And I'm going to answer together, we'll answer your questions. We've been in Israel, we've been in Syria, but here's the bottom line. Here's what I want you to know. And you just had three of the most powerful people in the U.S. Congress. This is huge, because I know what you all want to happen is have America fix this problem. As much as America is going to fix this problem is what Donald Trump has done, what he did hand in hand with Israel and Iran, what he's done for Syria in taking the sanctions off, and what he said for our benefit, for Lebanon's benefit, that he wants a healthy and prosperous Lebanon. Now, what's really the issue? We keep on talking about Hezbollah. Hezbollah being disarmed. What we haven't talked about was what happens to the Shia people, what happens to the Hezbollah military, what happens to the people, what happens to the south, and why is Hezbollah armed? So I want to give you just a framework of what we're doing, and then Morgan can answer your questions. If you think about it, for you, Hezbollah is a political party. Shias represent 30 to 40% of the population, and you have a very good set of leaders today, in my opinion. The major three leaders, the president, the prime minister, the speaker, are all trying to do the best job they can for you of ushering to a new era of tolerance, a new era of peace, and ultimately prosperity. So why is Hezbollah armed? You have outside interference. What's the outside interference? Iran, Israel, the apprehension of Syria. What did we do? We went to Syria. I can tell you President al-Shara has no interest in having an adversarial relationship with Lebanon in any way, zero. There's no Sunni fundamentalist cause that he's targeting a weakness in Iran or a perceived weakness in Shia as an opportunity for him. He's looking at the historic relationship of hand-in-glove cooperation of what Lebanon and Syria could be ultimately. That's a fact. And he's running to border alignment, discussions, and a boundary agreement. Running to it. Israel. Morgan and I spent the day in Israel after, you can imagine, preparation. The idea responding to the heroic act that the president, the prime minister, the council had taken in responding to suggestions that we had given them as to what could a disarmament and withdrawal plan be. Again, going to disarmament is what can we do for Hezbollah to show them they don't need to be armed. Nobody wants to go to a civil war. I can tell you Israel's response was historic. What they've said to us personally, what they've said to the president in actuality, and what they've given in a press release to you is they will meet tit for tat in exact cadence. What we will do in an effort to make sure that Hezbollah is not armed as an adversary against them, they will withdraw in the same cadence. The reason they couldn't respond specifically is we didn't give them specifics yet. Your government is coming back with a proposal August 31st, which is a Sunday, so it won't be August 31st, of saying here is the plan and proposal of what our intent is to disarm Hezbollah. When they see that, they will give their counter-proposal of what they will do in withdrawals and security guarantees on their border, their boundaries, those 5 points, in cadence with what we're giving them. So the big picture is if you take the adversaries away, so if you take Israel and Syria away as a discussion with Hezbollah and saying, great, you from 1982 on, you needed to be armed, you were a militia, we had the Palestinians, we had the Israelis, you were serving a cause, there's no need to serve that cause. LAF can do it, you can be a part of it, but when we talk about the economic zone, we have to have a substitute for what happens because there's another outside party that we just talked about, Iran, that we have no direct relationship with. And Iran has been the financier of the growth of Hezbollah, the municipality, and Hezbollah, the militia. So how do we substitute that? We bring the Gulf countries in simultaneously in a new economic zone, which will have some depth to it in the next few weeks as to what can happen with outside investment. What kind of outside investment? What does it mean to the South? What does it mean to the community? So step by step, you take out the Iranian concern because you have another funding source, another life source. You take away the Syrian concern because Syria is ready to have discussions tomorrow. You take away the Israeli court. You haven't spoken, by the way, to Israel since 1949. This is insanity. And I'm not even going to go towards the fact that eventually you're going to have to speak to Israel. Whether it's a deconfliction, whether it's normalization, whether it's ultimately a peace agreement, there's only one road to ultimate peace and prosperity in this region, and that's for everybody to speak with each other and for America to vanish from the scene. So with that, I'll allow questions. Morgan can take that over.
One question, and then we're going to have to wrap things up. Over here, please. Thank you.
So this is Joyce Al-Haj from Al-Arabi TV. The main question is, did you get a commitment from Israel regarding the restraint of strikes on Lebanon in response to the decision made by the Lebanese government regarding this dismantling of the Hezbollah arms?
I think the ambassador was clear on that. Israel is willing to go step by step. It might be small steps, baby steps, but they're willing to go step by step with this government. As Ambassador Barrack pointed out, the entire Trump administration, Secretary Rubio, were all greatly encouraged by the historic decision of the government a few weeks ago. But now it's not about words. Now it's about action. And so what Tom and I are here to do is to represent the President of the United States. It's his policy, not our policy. And we are here to help the Lebanese government move forward with that historic decision and to work with our partner in Israel step by step. So every step that the Lebanese government takes, we will encourage the Israeli government to make the same step. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much. It's good to be back. Thanks.
Wait. Okay, wait. Okay, yes. Calm down. Please, I beg you. Wait. 2 questions. 3 questions.
Are you saying that nothing will happen until the disarmament of Hezbollah? So you mean that Israel will do anything until the real disarmament of Hezbollah? Never any step, because last time you said that you will work on a step from the Israeli side.
Yes, so it's a good question. Let me be more clear. What the Israelis are saying is they will meet step by step whatever our disarmament plan is. When I say our, I'm speaking about Lebanese, right? That on August 31st, we're coming back with some plan. I don't know what it is. LAF and your government are coming back with a plan, saying our proposal to Hezbollah as to how to disarm them, which is not necessarily militarily, right? They're not talking about going to war. They're talking about how do we convince Hezbollah to give up those arms, and what does that mean? We don't know, because there's no Lebanese plan at the moment. They've done a very good job south of the Litani in this very confused setting. Remember, we had this November 2024 agreement that nobody abided by, right? So we talk about a cessation of hostilities agreement, which is still in effect, but nobody's paying attention. So what will happen now? Why do I think this is, why personally am I hopeful? Your government did something amazing, which is took 11 points and said, we as a government will commit to do these things. The first major step of that is we will ask LAF to prepare an agreement on how Hezbollah can be disarmed, which will be submitted to us for approval. We haven't seen it. They haven't seen it. It hasn't been submitted. What Israel has now said, which is historic, is we don't want to occupy Lebanon. We're happy to withdraw from Lebanon. And we will meet those withdrawal expectations with our plan as soon as we see what is the plan to actually disarm Hezbollah. So it's words on both sides, but those words are super important because we're getting towards that narrow alley of action, and that's where we are at the moment.
I want to ask you regarding the economic zone, but what mechanism could such a plan realistically be implemented?
So if you think about how do we solve all these issues amongst all of us? Hope is a great thing, but hope fades quickly, right? So with me, you're going to get frustrated with me if I'm up here for another 6 months saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Exactly. You'll say, well, let's move from America to France. Let's go from France to Germany. Let's go from Germany to Saudi Arabia. Let's go some outside source. The only thing that works is the hope of prosperity. So we have to have money coming into the system. The money will come from the Gulf. Lebanon, for all the reasons we know, has always had that historic ability to harness enterprise, business, banking. You know, they're working on a gap law. They're working on a new central bank. They're working on a correspondent banking system. They're working on the port. They're working on logistics. We need to speed that program. Qatar and Saudi Arabia are our partners and willing to do that. And saying for the South, if we're asking a portion of the Lebanese community to give up their livelihood, because when we say disarm Hezbollah, we have 40,000 people that are being paid by Iran to fight. What are you going to do with them? You want to take their weapons and say, by the way, good luck, go plant more olive trees? It can't happen, right? We have to help them. And the way we help them is to say, we, all of us, the Gulf, the U.S., the Lebanese, are all going to act together in creating an economic forum that will produce a livelihood which isn't set upon whether Iran wants it or not. That's the idea. Yes, ma'am.
Did you discuss the issue of defense extending the...
Of course.
What's your opinion?
My personal opinion?
No, USA.
Why the U.S. stand against the...
So let me ask you a question. How long has UNIFIL been there? How much do you pay them a year? I'm a businessman. Make it simple for me. No, $1 billion a year. How many years have they been there? You're all journalists. You're brilliant. You've been researching this so you can grill me every day. How many years has UNIFIL been there? Anybody? Yes. Yes. Right? So I'm just a businessman. I say, okay, $1 billion a year, 22 years of efficacy, and you're in a swamp. They haven't fired a bullet. They haven't fired a shot. You're in a worse dilemma than you've ever been with Israel and Hezbollah, and you want us to weigh in more with laugh. Laugh is the answer. Your answer is laugh. Your answer is not UNIFIL. The Secretary of the United States position is we will extend for 1 year. That's our position today. We have to decide by the end of August. Of course, France is not in that position. My personal position is I sponsor the President of the United States and the Secretary of State 100%. Concentrate on laugh. You have to do it yourself. The more you rely on outside influences, pretty soon you're going to be substituting McDonald's for Kibinai. Right? That's what's happening. Every time you reach outside for outside help, you're losing the value of what you have. Don't do it. Hezbollah, you can convince them in a non-adversary, my opinion, in a non-civil war environment to join one Lebanese state. This is my opinion. Last question. You guys are wearing me out. I only have one question.
You have talked about Syria, Israel, and Tehran. Why not taking the short way and United States talk to Tehran to give an order to Hezbollah, and then we close this issue?
Do you think that's not happening? Goodbye.
Just one last question.
بعد شوي في بيان، اوكي؟